Criterion is an organization of Muslim women in business and professions. As part of grooming the new executive officers, a leadership training was scheduled for Sunday, 31st July 2022. After the opening preliminaries of recognition, prayers and Quranic recitations, the Amira welcomed all with some words of admonition, which was followed with the chairman's opening remarks by the Amira Emeritus.
Each one of you is a leader, and each leader will be held accountable for who he has led. Then one of the companions, the first caliph, was also reported to have said his first address to the community: I have been chosen to rule over you, though I am not the best among you. Help me if I am right, correct me if I am wrong. The weak among you will be strong until I have attained for him his due, and the strong among you will be weak until I have made him give what he owes. Obey me as long as I obey Allah and his prophets. And if I do not obey them, you owe me no obedience. Leadership in Islam is a trust. It is an amana.
This assignment is an amana. It is between you and your Allah. And if it is between you and your Allah, don't care about what Mommy will say by criticizing you, perhaps to you unnecessarily. Even when you try to tell people what your challenges and weaknesses are, the office that you have been assigned to come and work on that has brought you to this point. Even if you try to tell people what your challenges are, they will not understand. It's not they may not.
The first lecture of the day was delivered by Professor Jamila Yakub, a former Amira of Lagos District, which focused on interpreting the association's constitution.
Criterion is very much passionate about the welfare of women and children. What are our core values? Integrity, empathy, competence. Integrity, I want to re-emphasize. Everything, every kobo has to be documented. And I took it into my marriage, such that when my husband gives me money and I go to the market, I will write it down. Even though I'm not accounting to anybody, I just developed that habit of writing it down so that I can account for myself before I account to others. So when I was in FinSec, we didn't have accounts, we didn't have a bank account, but we just have to keep the record. And many times I will put money from my pocket if I cannot account for it, because I just have to make sure the money balances. So integrity is very poor. Don't say nobody is watching you, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is there. Then empathy, it can't be overemphasized. If you want to lead a women organization, you must empathize. Everybody has it to our own challenge. So empathy will make you to be able to forge ahead easily with people. The competence, every member of the Criterion, we are blessed. We are very blessed.
The second lecture was tagged Inclusive Leadership: The Task, the Team, and the Individual. This was aptly delivered by a corporate guru and member of the Criterion BOT, Hajia Muyibat Abbas.
Leadership is about influence. Leadership is not about power or authority. Leadership is empowering people. Leadership is not about commanding people. And we want all of us to take our cue for inclusive leadership from the greatest leader, our own Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He was the greatest leader in the history of humanity. He was the prophet who was protected by Allah. He did not speak on the basis of his whims and desires. He was never confused, and he was not misguided. Sallallahu alaihi wasallam. What is inclusion in leadership? I'll define inclusion. Inclusion is the practice of providing equal access to opportunities and resources for people who might otherwise be excluded or marginalized. In trying to get inclusion, you must not sacrifice competence and integrity while trying to balance the various components of the leadership team.
The two lectures elicited comments, questions, and clarifications which were well attended to, and closing dua by the General Secretary, Hajia Kudra Okolawon, with the vote of thanks by the Naiba Amira, Dr. Khadija Abdul Salam.
I want to thank Mr. Maria Shaba
for our leadership. Because most of the thing behind the scene, before I put it out, at my baby and better Mary to and fro. And she's always there to help and assist. And I want to thank everybody for coming out today. May Allah make it easy for us. May Allah make it easy for us to discharge the duties, all of the October. Now, tell the Lord that I think we should not take part of the Exco.
Guests and participants shared their thoughts on the training.
It is an eye-opener to some other areas as an Exco that we have not even think about, especially with the review of the Constitution, some areas that we need to now work on and improve on, and areas we have not even been doing at all that we now need to go back to and review as an Exco. So it is, the training has been an eye-opener for us to do more.
The leadership training is about inclusive leadership, the task, the team, and the individual.
It has been an all-inclusive participation. Everybody has participated one way or the other. We didn't leave it to the Dawa officer alone, the Dawa chair alone. It has been an all-inclusive participation, and we hope to continue with this.
There is need for inclusion, we know that, but we must not sacrifice competence, honesty, that is integrity, competence, and pragmatism in looking for inclusion. Most members are leaders in their own right, so it has been very interactive, and I have learned one or two things.
We wish the new executives success in their tenure. Amin.